is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by Rachel Cruz, best-selling author and host of The Rachel Cruz Show, and we are excited to take your calls, America. So give us one. 888-825-5225 is the number to call. We can talk about your life, your money, what's going on in your world, inflation, weddings, kids, cars, houses. So much to talk about, Rachel.
All of it.
I'm overwhelmed just thinking about
Weddings and inflation, two great topics.
That's true. And we are here for you today to give you the right next step for wherever you might find yourself. So give us a call, 888-825-5225. Eric is kicking off this hour. He's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Eric, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, thank you. Great to be on.
Awesome. How can we help?
Hi. So I'm a 20-year-old college student. Right now, I'm working full-time. Basically, my work pays for my schooling, and I have about $70,000 in savings.
Awesome.
So I've been dating my boyfriend for about 6 months now.
Okay.
And I was wondering when the right time is to bring up the finance question in a relationship.
Finances and a relationship. How long has this relationship been going on?
About 6 months.
Okay. So pretty early on. I mean, I like to, as you're heading towards, a more serious commitment like a marriage, I think you can start talking about values now and where you stand on your views on debt and money. I don't think you need to go showing bank accounts and be like, well, here's my situation, because we're not combining any finances until marriage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I mean, with anyone, when it comes to relationships, it's when you know, okay, I'm going to be doing life with this person, getting married, and we have our future ahead, right? And so when that happens, that's when all conversations come out. It gets real about every subject, and it needs to include money for sure. And the problem is that people go into these go into relationships, and then they take the next step, and for whatever reason, fear, they don't think it's that important, whatever it is, they end up kind of holding back and pushing back. And then once you're married and you're realizing, oh, wow, we have to actually do life together, that's when it gets complicated. Yeah.
So are there fears right now, Eric, when it comes to finances and what the takes are?
I would say yes. The main reason being is because, I know my boyfriend has about maybe $30,000 in student loan debt. And our finances are very different. So I just didn't want the relationship to be about money.
Sure. Well, I think the key here is how, aggressive is he about wanting to pay these student loans off versus, oh, they've got student loan debt, so I can't be with a person who has debt. To me, it's more about the mindset and their values when it comes to money, and that's the stuff you can talk about now. But you don't need to be like, well, we got to make a plan right now. This is the time. No one on a first date is going, Rachel, I want to know how much debt you have before we move forward in this date.
Show me your tax
returns. So there's a level of respect. You don't want to be disrespectful. You don't want to come on too strong here. But I think talking about values. So hey, I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on debt? How do you view money?
Yes.
What did you learn about money growing up?
For sure. Because the truth is, too, that one of the number one causes of fights and then that lead to divorce is money. So I'm like, if we know there's a big thing out there that's an issue, it would be unwise to, to ignore it.
Yeah. The earlier we can nail down that, hey, we're on the same page with money, the better.
Yes.
So I like that. But we don't need to get into the weeds and the details until there's more commitment in this relationship.
That's right.
So thanks so much for the call, Eric. Appreciate it. Let's move on to Connor. He's in Houston, Texas. Connor, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's great to be on here.
Absolutely. Good to have you. What's going on?
So my question is similar, actually. I just got engaged last week.
Congrats.
And thank you. And we're wanting to know if we should put money or open another savings account, specifically a high yielding savings account, and just fill that with money for the wedding.
Love
or if
it.
we should just keep it, or if we should keep it in our own, bank accounts and just throw cash in there and, and just use that. So that's our question.
Yeah, it's a great question. I love the idea of having a separate account for something that's going to be, you're going to be using it a lot. It's something you're going to want to stay on budget for. And so you want to know the exact number of what you guys have, when you have it, all of it. And it's just easier to separate it out, getting a savings account, or a check, or even a separate checking account, because you probably will be writing a lot of checks or using the money obviously out of it for vendors and that kind of thing. So to continue to stay up with what's going on, what's being paid out, all of it. I think it's great to have a separate one. Winston and I did that, actually. That was our first, and then we ended up going into that account.
My first checking account. That's sweet.
Our first checking account. Yes.
Wow.
I know, because we had our separate, and then we got
it helps
one
when you get married.
and we put all the wedding budget stuff in that one account.
Yeah.
And then after we got married, I was like, well, both our names are on it. So we were like, we'll just transition all of our stuff to combine into that account. Well, that was already existing.
That's smart.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't my first checking account.
No.
Did you
But
think?
I mean our. Like, I just meant.
Yes. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
As a couple.
So I like that idea just because it keeps it separate from everything else.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And do you guys have a budget right now that you're saying, hey, this is the number we're shooting for?
Yeah, we want to keep it somewhere from like 10 to 15,000. 15,000 being like the most we'd want to spend, but
so ideally 10, but 15 is hey, we're not spending a dime more than this.
Ideally, yes,
You'll
sir.
probably spend 15, Connor. Just prepare your heart.
Prepare your heart.
We had a range too, and we were on the other end of that range.
Yeah. But I like planning.
Just,
plan for 10. How about that? Let's plan for 10.
That's good. George would say 10. I'd say you'll probably do 15. But that's great. Either way, Connor, you got a plan. You're using cash. You guys it's going to be great. Enjoy the process.
Yes.
You can get stressed out and all of it.
Don't let anyone pressure you into making decisions about this wedding that you don't feel comfortable making, you and your fiance. This is your day. And so many people, Rachel, they put so much pressure on the wedding day, and they don't even think about setting themselves up for marriage.
Yes, they spend more time planning the wedding than the marriage.
And then they walk into the marriage going, oh my gosh, what the crap happened?
Actually, Connor, I'll give you the piece of advice I gave my little brother when he got married.
Aww.
Take that budget, split it in half, and keep the other half for marriage therapy later on. So you have this whole account, and you're like, good, when we need counseling, when we need therapy.
Did Daniel take that advice?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. It's a joke.
It's a funny joke.
But for real, though, your marriage is a lifetime. The wedding's a day. Enjoy it. I hope it's wonderful. I hope your fiance feels beautiful and she loves it, all of it. But it's just the day, so don't get too caught up. But I think y'all are going to do great, Connor.
Yeah. The fact that he's thinking about this.
Thank you.
Connor, can I give you a wedding gift?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. I'm going to give you 1 year of Ramsey Plus, and I know it's not a lame gift,
No,
Rachel.
it's not a lame gift.
I thought you were laughing because you thought it
genuinely
was lame.
like, wait, what are you doing, George?
That's what I'm doing. 1 year of Ramsey Plus. Kelly's going to pick up and get you connected with that. Plug into the Every Dollar Plus budgeting app we've got for you. It connects to your bank account. Watch all the Financial Peace University videos. It's like premarital counseling.
Gift.
It's great.
Gift, George. Great
Go
gift.
through it. Plug into it. You're going to love it. Super excited for you guys as you enter this chapter of your life. Give us a call. 888-825-5225 is the number. Let's talk about your life and your money. I'm George Campbell, joined by Rachel Cruz today. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined today by Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz. And we just took a call about weddings, and I want you all to stick around because later this hour, we're going to be talking about this big wedding boom. We are seeing weddings back bigger than ever before, and we're going to share with you some of the worst wedding advice we have ever heard. It's a big claim, but it's up there, Rachel.
We'll just hashtag TikTok.
That's right.
People
love
it. Are hashtags still a thing?
I don't use them. Do you?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm not that fancy. We have social media professionals here to help us with all that.
But anyways, it's great. It's
so
funny,
stick around for that. We're going to be talking weddings. It seems to be a hot topic lately. We're going to get into it. All right, let's go to the phones this hour. Open phones, 888-825-5225 is the number to call. Caitlin joins us up next. She's in Arizona. Caitlin, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How can we help today?
Yeah, I just had a quick question in regards to overcoming a negative mindset. So I'm 29. I live out in Arizona. I'm a single mom. And as you know, our housing market has been gazelle intense, to say the least. And I'm paying about 60% of my take-home pay in rent.
Ouch.
I can't buy in this market. I don't make enough. I pulled down to about 40 last year. And I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels, and that treading water feeling is really starting to get to me. So I was hoping you could provide some insight on that if possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Caitlin, I'm like, I would feel that too if more than half the paycheck is going to housing. That's a big chunk. So tell me a little bit more about kind of the situation, because you are obviously in a more expensive, I don't know if it's an area or apartment or what it is. Is there other options for you to change locations just to at least catch your breath and bring it down to at least, we recommend 25, 30%, but even if it went down to 35%, that would change your world.
Right. Yeah. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment right now, and I pay about $2,000 a month. I had looked at going down to a 1-bedroom. The only trouble with that, it would only save me maybe $300 a month, but I actually work from home. So and I have my son here with me too. So I don't know how we would make that work.
Yeah, no, 2-bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
have you
beds, I haven't. Oh, sorry.
I was going to just say, have you driven, 20 miles either direction of where you currently are just to see other prices?
Right now I'm already kind of on the edge of, what I would consider to be a safe area. So okay. I can look maybe a little bit deeper into Phoenix, but I just want to make sure we're still safe and everything's good like that. So I work remotely, so I could probably buy in other states and other markets, but my son's father's here, and I really just don't want to leave my home state. So
For sure.
Understandable.
And how much do you make a year?
I pulled down about 40 last year.
Okay.
What are you doing for work?
Yeah. I work at a call center for an insurance company.
Okay. So there's only two ways we can go about this. I mean, we can spend less and we can make more. So do you have any payments in your life that we can get rid of? Do you have any debt?
I don't have any debt. I do have that going for me. I don't have any debt, and I do anticipate my income going up. I had a conversation yesterday with my supervisor that made me feel like maybe something close is on the horizon for getting my pay up. I think it's just this waiting period between making more money and trying to find something cheaper to rent. It's mentally been draining me, I think. But,
for sure. Well, especially as a single mom. I mean, how old's your son?
He just turned 6.
Oh.
His name's Mason. I think he might be listening.
That's awesome.
There you go, Mason. That's awesome.
Oh, well, you're doing an incredible job, Caitlin. I mean, the hard thing is it's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's just that the numbers are kind of stacked against you. And so, like George said, an option of bringing in more. I mean, right now the job market is just insane. And so I would push and look to see if you can even, 40 grand, you're doing fine. But man, people are paying just insane amounts of money right now for jobs. And since yours is not like very specifically specialized, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you could do all sorts of things, even with the experience that you've had in this insurance role. So, I don't know if it's looking for something else or a different apartment, but one of those two things really it needs to shift for your own sanity, Caitlin. You know what I mean? Like,
even temporarily.
To have the numbers work for you. It's going to be a big deal.
Do you have an emergency fund, Caitlin?
I do, yeah.
Okay, 3 to 6 months in there?
I still have my baby one. I have a $1,000 emergency fund, and then I have about $4,000 in my actual emergency fund. So I still need to build that up.
Okay. I think building that up may help with a little bit of that financial peace and anxiety about what if something happens, if one check doesn't come in, what are we going to do? And if you get that in place, then I'm going to start saving up for a house slowly. And I know it's hard because there's not a lot of margin right now, but that feels like it's the long-term goal. And I'm hoping that all of this craziness is not forever. And so a year from now, hopefully we're looking at a very different picture. And you are work from home, and so that does open you up. But I know you've got to still stay close to home because of the situation with your son. And so there's not a ton of options here other than let's look at the budget. Let's do a budget audit. Where can we save? Every single insurance premium, every single expense. I'm going through that with a fine-tooth comb going, how can I shave off $10, $20, $30?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the income, income and apartment situations would change too, you know?
Yeah.
But you're doing a great job, Caitlin. You really are. You're doing a great job for where you're at. Incredible. No debt. You have savings. I mean, all of it. You really are. But that 60%, that hurts me.
It's a tough situation. And this inflation stuff, I mean, it's hitting people all over their pocketbooks, from rent to gas to food. And so you just batten down the hatches and let's get to work. Let's get the second job if we have to. Let's trim the subscriptions that we're not using right now. And all the little luxuries that we once enjoyed might need to go away temporarily. Yeah, for a season, because they're saying, you know, I read a report, and they think in the next 18 months with just even the supply chain, all of that. But I'm like, I mean, the hard thing is after 2 years, I've just learned, who knows? Like, who knows? That's right. I remember April of 2020 doing Instagram Lives. I did one like every other day just to answer questions. And I remember I said, "Hi guys, I think by August this will all be over. It's all going to be over." Here we are. So I'm not predicting anything, but I think you just have to prepare with where we're at, the reality of what's going on. And what sucks is that means cutting back some because the numbers, everything is going up. Yeah. And if you're single, you don't have kids, there's more options because we can go, all right, let's get you a roommate. Now, it's more difficult when you have a family, when you've got kids involved. It's not that simple. Right. But if you work from home, that can open you up to a lot of options too. And you may not want to live on the outskirts of town, but temporarily for a year, if we have to sign that lease to go, all right, we can now breathe and still hit our other financial goals, I'm okay with that. And it's amazing what peace of mind even does, right? Like, we can talk about the numbers and the percentages and all of that all day long, but there is just something to be said about when you do have margin, it gives you a level of peace, like a level of like, you can take a breath. And sometimes it's worth the things you never thought you would do. I never would live this far from wherever, right? People make these claims. And then when life starts hitting you and you think, okay, is it now? I would rather live farther away and actually have peace of mind and margin and enjoy life a little bit more than everything just getting sucked out of the paycheck. There's so much out of our control too. And so I always like to go, what is in my control? Yeah. So in Caitlin's situation, if I'm anyone listening right now, I'm going, all right, let me make a list of ways I can make more and ways I can spend less. I'm going to make a list of 5 things and I'm going to go, okay, which one can I go do this week, this month? And just start trying things. What can I sell on Facebook Marketplace that's been sitting in the closet for a while? What is that second job I can take for a few months to just supplement my income temporarily? Yeah. And so if you start doing all of that, and that's why I love the budget audit. It's kind of a real nerdy thing, but you go, man, I'm way overpaying for auto insurance. Let me connect with Xander, and oh my gosh, I just saved $100 right there. And you start doing that in all areas. We've talked about this on your show, Rachel, with cable and internet. And how can we start shaving all of this down, our phone bills, to where now we have $200 a month in margin, and we can breathe a little bit. And it's not easy. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's just... but it's the stuff that's the kind of the auto draft, the auto pay, where you're just like, oh, and then you look up 2 years and you're like, wow, I've never pushed on that or seen that. You know what I mean? And doing that, it gives you some more margin. Yeah, you got to advocate for yourself and get yourself in a better financial position, and that's why our plan works in good times and bad. I mean, imagine if she had all these debt payments looming in her life. Yeah. Whew. Great work, Caitlin. You've done a great job. Good job. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcast. Joined today by my co-host Rachel Cruz, host of The Rachel Cruz Show. You can check out all of those shows and podcasts wherever you listen to podcasts and on the Ramsey Network. All right, Rachel, so we've been talking about weddings, and I've got this article here from CNN. Weddings are booming again. They're bigger and more expensive than ever. We love to hear that. This year's wedding boom is projected to be big, according to a new report from wedding planning site The Knot. It anticipates as many as 2.6 million weddings taking place in 2022. The big events will also be much bigger and likely more expensive amid record levels of consumer price inflation. On average, couples spent a total of $34,000 on their wedding in 2021, including the ceremony, reception, engagement, and wedding rings, The Knot report said. This is getting crazy.
It's wild, and I just know I know people personally that they didn't have their wedding because of COVID. They weren't able to have the wedding they wanted, so they waited. Actually, we know someone that's on our team, and she's getting married tonight. That's right. So it is wild, and it's an expensive day. It's an expensive event. I always think about the Friends episode with Chandler and Monica. And Monica's like, if you call it a party one more time, because he's like, our big party. She's like, it is not a party. It's a wedding. Yes, it's an event. It's a day. It's a day.
Yeah, when you divide the cost out by how many people are attending and you go, oh my gosh, is Uncle Richie really worth $214?
Well, that's the problem. It's like the per head thing. So when you start getting declines, you're like, oh, okay, good, thank you.
That's a great feeling. The people that you didn't really want to show up, that your parents made you invite.
I know.
So hopefully they're not listening right now. Sorry. They won't even know who they are.
I was about to say, you're good.
So here's the deal. With all these expensive weddings comes a lot of wedding advice. And a lot of that advice happens to be on the internet. And a portion of that internet is TikTok, Rachel. And I know you have some feelings about TikTok. But there's a specific video that I wanted to show you. I wanted to watch together as a family. And I wanted to get your reaction. Are you okay with this?
I can't wait.
Okay, here is some of the worst wedding advice I've heard.
Okay.
Let's go.
So I wanted to share with you the best wedding advice of all time. The second that you get engaged, open a credit card. Now, I know what you're going to say. I already have a credit card.
Of course.
Get a new one.
Of course.
Get one that's running a promotion. But what you're going to do is you're going to put every single wedding expense you ever have on that card. Even if the vendor charges like a 2% credit card fee, pay the fee. It is worth it. Seriously. We got a ton of bonus points. We put everything on that card because we already have cash saved. And so I think a lot of people think like, well, let's just pay with cash, then we're not in debt, right? But you already have the cash. So we just use it to pay off the credit card every month, but we're still getting miles. And that's like where the money really is. So then when you have all of these miles, you use it to literally book the honeymoon of your dreams for free.
Okay. Oh, there's so much there to unpack, Rachel. We could sit here all day.
I know, but it's the mindset. That is so...
It's a mindset. That's a good point.
That's so normal.
This is the normal cultural... Most people listening and watching go, I don't get it. What was wrong with that advice?
That's true. Yep.
Yeah, use the points. Go on the free vacation. It'll all work out.
It's all going to work out.
Even if you have the cash.
It's going to be okay.
That was the wildest part. They've got the cash to do it, apparently. And she says, even though you have the cash, put it on the card.
Here's the thing. This is tried and true. It's always been true because there's been study after study after study that when you choose to spend someone else's money, naturally you are going to spend more because there is not an emotional connection to the money you're spending. So as you're planning this wedding and putting everything on the credit card, you're like, well, yeah, let's do that. Or that dress, it's like $800 more. It'll be fine because we're going to get the points.
That's
and we're gonna,
future Rachel's problem.
You start to justify, you really do, these transactions and the expenses, and doing a little bit more is actually better. I'd rather spend more because I'm going to get the airline miles on the back end. So it's going to be fine. And the crazy thing is when you look, especially a wedding budget, the average wedding is $34,000. And you give yourself any leeway emotionally to say, oh, we can spend a little bit more. How much more, thousands and thousands and thousands that you're probably going to spend, again, because there's just not there's not a feeling of, okay, that's my money leaving. So you are to get a plane ticket to Cancun. And I'm like, listen, it's expensive right now. I get it.
Sure. But it's not thousands of dollars.
Let's just say $1,000. Let's say it's $500 there, $500 back. Two people, it's $2,000. I guarantee you they spent more than $2,000 because of the idea. Oh, okay, well we're gonna get some on the back end. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then can I just go one more, George?
Please. All day.
I know everyone's like, and I don't feel this way. This is one of the reasons that I really just don't like. I don't like the whole industry of credit cards, because in order to get those miles, in order to get those points, it's not because MasterCard is like this generous, entity, and they're like, you know what, you've been just so great, so I'm going to just give you something. They have trillions of dollars, like billions. I'm going to say trillions. I don't even know if that's true, but billions we can say for sure of dollars for people that don't pay their credit cards off and are paying interest. So the people that are mismanaging their money, you get to go get your $700 plane ticket paid for by and I'm like, it's gross.
That doesn't feel good.
It does. Well, to me, it does. I'm like, you know what? The whole gross. Can I just use my money and like stay away from? Like, I don't even want to participate. I don't want to participate. So
don't
I know
be a part of that system.
I don't like it. I don't like
it. Wow. Well, we dug into this on the Fine Print podcast that we did, and we interviewed an ex-employee at Capital One who was overseeing one of these programs, and here's what she told me. The average credit card has 30 different price point and reward tiers, and that's on purpose. They want it to be confusing and overwhelming, and they do 10,000 experiments. That's a direct number she told me on customers. You are a hamster in the maze, and you get to the cheese and you think, I won, I got airline miles, I won. And then you zoom out, and you're a hamster in the maze, on the wheel, in the cycle of trying to get more points to go on your next trip. And I just go, dude, become your own cashback program. Save up for your trip. I'll teach you how to budget. We can do this on our own and not have to hope for some miles to come through. And the fact that she said, and you get those airline miles, and that's where the money really is. And I'm like, your airline miles are worth $0. You can't cash those out. You can cash money out of your bank, but your airline miles, 100,000 miles, where does that get you? That's not 100,000 miles of travel. That's an arbitrary number that these credit card companies use to confuse you.
Yeah.
If they were so generous, they would just say, all right, 2%, it's going to be full cash back. Here's $2,000. They make it confusing on purpose to get you to spend and spend and spend.
To spend more and more.
Don't do this.
And only 48% of Americans, so a little less than half, pay off their credit card every month. So you hear people say, well, I pay mine off. Yeah, half of those people that say that
And that's the problem with advice like this is she's saying it blanket because I can manage my credit card spending well. Yeah. Everyone should go get a credit card. And then half of America is in credit card debt,
average
carrying a balance.
$6,800. So almost $700. $7,000. Wow. And I'm like, and the credit card arguments, because I'm like, the math, like, okay, I get it. Like, sure. Yeah, you spend that, you get, okay, yes. On the sheet of paper, I'm like, yes, that. But again, what you don't take into account is everything else we've been talking about, of how much more you're spending, how much you're just in their rat race of them knowing you better than you even know yourself. And then, and I know some people use their credit card to make ends meet. They literally do not make enough to live. And so that's one reason they use, which we would say, hey, you've got to cut expenses and you have to earn extra. You can't continue to live in the negative.
Can't keep digging the hole.
And win long term. Yes. Yeah. And then the other is just buying a bunch of stuff. I'm like, and then you end up with almost a $7,000 balance on average for people. And I'm like, and I think about the minimalists, some of our friends, and I'm like, it's just this American standard of what we expect to live like.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't expect to live like this. We're going to do anything in our means possible because this is the expectation. I'm like, who set the bar? Who decided that?
The credit card companies did. And here's the truth. You can't spend your way into a meaningful life.
No,
And you sit there with your credit card and you spend. Look at your transactions. How many of those were wants versus needs? Don't tell me you only spent it on gas. Listen, you're having some fun. And that's okay, but that stuff's going to have you if you're not careful. And you're going to be sitting there with credit card debt, hoping for some airline miles so that you can go to Cancun. Pay for your own dang honeymoon. We'll teach you how. We can do this all day long, dude. You don't have to wait on Capital One. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined today by Rachel Cruz. And we are hitting the road, Rachel. Our Building Wealth live event is coming to Las Vegas and Orlando this May. And building wealth is a hot topic right now. There's all kinds of opinions on how to do it, whether it's crypto, single stocks, zero down real estate, NFTs. It seems like everyone wants to get rich and quick. Plus, inflation has everyone freaking out right now. So join me, Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, and Ken Coleman as we unpack these hot topics. We're going to walk you through what's going on today and teach you how to build real wealth. The financial principles that we teach are the only principles that work in prosperous times and in hard times. And we're going to show you the quickest and surest way to become what we call a baby steps millionaire. So get ready, Vegas. We're coming to you Thursday, May 5th. In Orlando, we are coming to you Thursday, May 19th. And we are really excited. We've just confirmed 4 more cities for our Building Wealth events in the fall. So stay tuned. More on that next week. Tickets start at just $25, or you can get a 4-pack of tickets for just $60. This is a great deal. Don't wait. Tickets are flying off the virtual shelves. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events if you want to learn more.
It's such a fun event. We did this in January here in Nashville. Yep. Had about, probably 1,800 people or so.
Yeah.
And it's such a great conversation to have right now and what's going on. So we're pumped.
We're hitting all the trending stuff, and of course it points back to our timeless principles.
Yep.
So it's going to be a great time.
Vegas and Orlando. Two
good
great
cities. They chose well.
They did.
We're going to have some fun.
Thanks, Live Events team.
RamseySolutions.com/events. All right, we're going to the phones this hour. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. Anthony joins us in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Hey, George and Rachel. God bless you guys. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate that. How can we help?
So my question is around what to do with the extra cash from selling my house. So my wife and I bought a house in January 2020, right? So right before everything went crazy, COVID hit, and the market went up. So the value of our house went way up. And also we pretty much doubled our income in the last 4 or so years. So
Awesome.
we were able to afford a bigger house. Yeah. We wanted to upgrade. We wanted to also move closer to parents. This way, when we have kids, it's easier for us to continue to work part-time, or my wife. So we bought a new house, and we're selling our current house. And essentially, we made $150,000 from, when we originally bought it. And so we want to do a couple upgrades to the house with the extra money we're getting. But with the remainder, I just wanted to know exactly where I should put it. So we're going to make sure we put in at least 20% equity so we don't, we avoid the PMI. But also, we have about an extra $30,000 after everything's said and done. So I was wondering, should I just put the rest of it toward the mortgage? That's what my original plan was. I have still about $40,000 left in student loans. So I was wondering maybe I should put it there, get most of that out. And then lastly, should I be tithing any of this? So originally I was like, I don't think so, because it's just all staying in housing stuff, and, the whole market went up. But, God gave us the house right before everything went crazy. So it's like we're able to do this, because of his provision. So it's like maybe we should, tie some of that. And we have the ability to, right? $15,000 would be the 10% of that. So just want to know what you guys thought.
It's great. Lots of great questions
Yeah,
there.
and some good problems to have, too.
I'll start from the bottom and we can work our way up. So the tithing thing, for me, I mean, I think it's totally a personal conviction. I mean, you guys really may talk about it and say, God, we really feel led. And those of you that have a spiritual walk, that feeling of like, it may, right or wrong, but like, I feel like I need to do this. So that may be for you guys, Anthony. I would say, really when we talk about tithing, it really is the money that you make from work that comes in. And we always say giving 10%. So again, if you're a Christian, that could be in the tithe category. If you're not, it could be somewhere else. But any level of generosity is something that we really highly recommend. So for you guys in this specific situation, I don't think it's necessary, but if you guys really feel convicted to do that, you can't go wrong with generosity, right? Like you're never going to look back and be like, dang it, why did we give that money? You never do that. So if you guys are just kind of leaning that way, I think it's great. I don't think it's a legalistic right or wrong answer for me personally.
Yeah. And you were talking about what to do with this money. How much debt do you guys have total outside of the mortgage?
Just the student loans, so just the $40,000.
So you're making $150,000 profit. Why not just pay off these student loans completely?
It's a good question. I guess we could. I was thinking put it into the mortgage just so that helps us pay it off a lot faster, avoid a lot of interest over the years, but could definitely do that too.
Yeah.
I'm on track to finish paying them off in about 6 years. So.
Oof, that's not a good plan. 6 years?
Yeah.
Goodness, you said you doubled your income.
Tackling that quicker, but...
Do you have an emergency fund?
Yes, we do. Yeah, so we have a $5,000 emergency fund.
Is that 3 to 6 months of expenses, or is that a little low?
No, that's definitely low. It'd be more around the $20,000 we want to save up for that.
If I'm in your shoes, which is how I answer questions, and you're following the Ramsey plan, which is why you called into this show, that means we're paying off all of our consumer debt and we're getting a fully funded emergency fund in place.
Before anything else.
Now, ideally, if you called before you got this house, I would have told you to do that before you even jumped to this house. But you've got some profit here and we can use it wisely to set ourselves up, which means those house upgrades may have to wait. We can cash flow those later on. Right now, I want you to put aside, let's pay off the student loans. $40K has a name. Sally Mae's name's on it. Then the next 10 or 15 have the emergency fund name on it. Beyond that, we can talk about cash flowing some of these upgrades over time.
How much will your down payment of the new house be, Anthony? Because I know you guys said you wanted to do 20%.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. 20%. It's about around 150, I think. I forget exactly what it is.
Are you under contract? On the new house?
The new house or the new house, yes. So we already purchased the new house, and we're under contract for the selling of our house.
Oh, okay.
So we had enough funds to bridge the gap.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, I would do exactly what George is saying, because once you pay off, the student loans and you do a little bit, maybe 10 grand more, whatever it is for the fully funded emergency fund, you got $100K left, which is a little less than that 20%. So in a perfect world, yes, you would have 20%. But right now, I think having those things, the debt payoff and the emergency fund, going into a new house, like I think that's one of the smartest things you can do, because then from there on, you guys have doubled your income. You're gonna be able to put more money towards investing and towards paying off this house even faster. So
yeah. And once you get to that 20% equity, contact your mortgage lender and see if they can drop that PMI that you're paying if it's under that 20%. So you're saying you haven't put the money down on the house yet, but you've closed on it? What's going on there?
So we've closed on it. We did put down already 10%. So 10% is already in.
Oh, okay.
The rest that needs to go in would be $60,000. So
that's
great. What we're making from the other house, $60,000 we wanted to put toward the.
That's amazing.
Okay. Toward that.
Well, I love the idea of paying off the house, but we have to get our ducks in a row here, and that means getting rid of the debt, getting a fully funded emergency fund in place. That's going to free up those student loan payments that you would have been making. It's going to give you some financial peace, some foundation, because as a homeowner, man, you know it. You're signing up for some things. There's going to be some costs associated with this, some upkeep, some maintenance. Obviously, you want to do some upgrades, but we can cash flow those with our newly found income because we don't have student loans in our life anymore.
Sounds good to me. No, I appreciate it. That's a great idea.
Absolutely. We're full of great ideas here at the show. We're full of a lot of things, Rachel, depending on who you ask. Hopefully great ideas.
About it. That's right.
Yeah. But this housing market it's a crazy one, Rachel. And a lot of people, nuts. We've been getting a lot of calls lately. Should I sell the house? A lot of people are like, should I sell the house to get out of debt? Love the idea. Not always something that I just tell people, go jump on that today.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they go, oh, you have $12,000 in debt. We can pay this off really fast. We don't need to sell the house to do it.
And in Anthony, I mean, he's in a remarkable position because not only did you buy a house January of 2020, like we moved into ours November of 19, and I look back now, I'm like, by the grace of Jesus, I don't even know how that even happened. But yes, I'm like, you bought at the perfect time. You've doubled your income, which we've heard that a lot with just rate, market rate going up for people in their careers. So that's amazing. I mean, you just have a lot on your side, Anthony. So when we talk about doing these little things that almost can feel like an ankle biter of like, paying off the debt, getting the emergency fund. But to get from point A to point B to win long-term financially and to build wealth, this is the fastest route. So this is what we would do for sure. But thanks for calling.
Appreciate it. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to my wonderful co-host, Rachel Cruz, all the folks in the booth, Kelly, Ben, James, you name it. Andrew, they're all in there. And you, America, thank you guys for listening. We couldn't do the show without you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality, joined today by Rachel Cruz, best-selling author and host of The Rachel Cruz Show. And we're here for you this hour, answering your money questions, your life questions. 888-825-5225 is the number to call. If you call and you're nice, Kelly will patch you through, and we can try to help you take the right next step for your money.
Is she the judge?
She's the judge. She's the holder. She holds the keys.
Kelly's the filter.
She's the DJ.
Do I like you? Do I not?
Kelly's confused.
I
She
don't
doesn't
know,
know what
Kelly.
we're
What do you
talking
think?
about. Yay or nay? Well, Rusty is kicking us off. He's in Mansfield, Ohio. Rusty, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
And so I'm getting ready to graduate college here in May, and I'll be a pharmacist once I pass my boards. I'm 36. My wife's 32. I have a whole bunch of student loan debt, about $342,000 in student loan debt.
Whoa.
I have about $9,000 in credit cards. We have about $34,000 tied up in cars. And then I have a personal loan from a family member, which kind of includes a house. They put down their house as collateral with a balloon loan. So we've just been paying the interest to kind of live here.
Oh, jeez. How much is that?
The house was only $51,000, but in total with other money I owe her, it's about $98,000.
So what's the total debt that you owe?
$482,000.
Oh, Rusty, how are you feeling? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm more worried than you
I
are.
started listening to your show about a year ago, and I felt like I needed to pursue the pretty big shovel because I was almost done with school. So I have a job lined up. I'll start.
How much are you gonna be making?
I pass my boards. I'll be making $108,000. And I have a job that'll be 7 days on and 7 days off. So I plan on picking up another job.
Good.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep. Okay.
And is that your household income, or is there more money?
My wife brings home about $450 a week. So,
what is she doing?
Well, what does that pan out to? What do you think she'll make this year?
She just started this job a few months ago, so I'm going to say maybe around 30 to 35, somewhere in that range.
What is she doing?
She's a customer service rep for a company.
Okay. Is that full time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys have kids?
We do not. That's something else I kind of wanted to throw in there. So we have issues, so we'll probably have to do like an IVF if we want to have kids.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if where that would fit in either, because we're getting kind of older and it's coming towards that time or not at all. So
totally.
Wow. So how can we help today?
I just kind of need a plan of, I guess, where to start. So the house doesn't have to be refinanced for another 3 to 4 years before they call for that balloon loan. So I wasn't sure if I should pay on other stuff for 3 years or so.
Can you get out of this house situation?
Yeah. Is it the house that you're living in that has the mortgage and the loan and everything, or is it the family members?
So, my mother put her house as collateral for this house because this house is technically worth a little bit more. So, it's her house that is on the line, I guess.
And how much do you have left? How much is left on the house?
Oh, we've just been paying the interest, so the whole amount.
Oh. Rusty, you're going to have to get...
How much will it sell for?
I honestly don't know.
Because here's the deal, Rusty. Y'all are...
2017.
Say again?
We got it in 2017, so it's been a little while. I'm sure it's probably in this market went up a little bit, but...
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, probably has. So here's the thing, Rusty. You're in kind of a extreme situation with everything going on and the amounts of debt, which means in order to make movement, you're going to have to make some extreme moves. And we don't always recommend selling a home and that kind of thing to get out of debt. Because for some people, it's like, hey, you got $12,000 of credit card debt. And we're like, awesome, cut everything and pay it off as fast as possible. But it's a substantial amount, almost $500,000. And so if you want to start making some big moves, that's where I'm going to start looking first and foremost. Is like, where are the places that we can make some drastic moves? And I know you guys want a family in the future, and that's amazing. And we can definitely talk about that later on in this call. But like, you don't have kids right now. Nothing's tying you down to this house. Like, I would start eliminating stuff. And your cars, you got $34,000 of car debt. How is that between both cars, or is that?
Yes. Yeah, that's between both.
Between both cars.
What are the cars worth?
So we owe about a little over $10,000 on one. It's probably worth about 12 or 13. And then we owe about 23.7 on the other one, and it's about worth 25 or 26.
Okay. Well, man, if I'm in your shoes, I'm feeling a sense of urgency, and I'm going, we are selling these cars tomorrow, and we're going to drive beater cars. We are selling this house next month, and we're going to live somewhere that we can afford.
In a one-bedroom, tiny apartment. I'm talking, yes, making these extreme.
This is an emergency situation.
And the $9,000 credit card debt, all of it. So, like, Rusty, yes, what George is saying, and I totally agree with, like, there needs to be this sense of, okay, in order to make a dent in $500,000 of debt, we got to just make some moves. And so, that's right, selling the car, selling the house, and then mapping out a game plan. So, you're going to make $108K a year, but then that's every other week. So finding a job ASAP of what you can do every other week. Your wife's making $35,000 in this market. Honestly, I think she can make more. I would be looking for a different job. Like, I would be making huge lifestyle changes, because when you do that, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have all this other margin to throw at the debt. You guys are going to be living on nothing. Everything's going to be going towards that. Because if you're not making these types of decisions, you're going to be in this for a really long time. And your pattern so far, Rusty, not to shame you, but your pattern so far of the decisions you guys have made with the credit card debt, the car loans, your mom taking out, collateral on her house with a balloon mortgage, like, your whole mindset has to shift. Like, you have to have this realization, what we've done has not worked. So we're actually going to have to do the opposite of everything I thought I was going to do with money. And so you and your wife together, like, making this, because what I would do too is, and sorry, George, you can jump in, but like, is having your why. What's your why? And for you guys to start a family. And yes, and we've had close, dear friends go through this process. Multiple friends go through the IVF process, and it's long, it's exhausting, it's strenuous, it's sad. I mean, there's all that emotion, and then obviously the prayer of being able to have a family on the other side of that. I want that to be your why, like sacrificing so majorly to say, over here is what we want our lives to be. And in order to do that so well, as stress-free as possible, with as much money in the bank, these are the decisions we have to make.
Yeah, and make sure you're cash flowing that IVF treatment. Don't go into debt for it, which means we got to clean this thing up and use that why. Listen, your life at this rate is going to suck for 10 to 20 years. I don't want that for you. I want it to suck for 2 years because you got gazelle intense, you sacrificed, you did everything you could for your family, for that future kid. That's what I want for you, Rusty. I'm going to gift you 1 year of Ramsey Plus. I want you and your wife to go through all the Financial Peace University videos, get a game plan, get on the every dollar budget, and start attacking this thing with a vengeance because your life depends on it. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality, joined this hour by Rachel Cruz. For the teachers out there, this one is for you. You guys pour your heart and soul into helping students every single day, and you have a bigger impact on these kids' lives than you even realize. And you deserve to be recognized. And that's why we're celebrating you during Financial Literacy Month. We're pumped to announce our Teacher Appreciation Giveaway, sponsored by Borrowed Future, our hit documentary about the dark side of the student loan industry. So here's the deal. 2 lucky teachers will each win $5,000 cash to use however they'd like. Plus, 3 more teachers will each win $1,000 cash, and there's more. Don't miss out, teachers. Go to RamseySolutions.com/teacher for your chance to win. And if you're not a teacher, please share this with all of the teachers that you know and love in your life. That's RamseySolutions.com/teacher.
Did you have great teachers, George?
Oh, I can remember 3 or 4 off the top of my head that were life-changing.
I in my own life, I just love teachers. And then now that our kids are in school, Amelia's in first grade. I'm like, her kindergarten teacher, I love. Her first grade teacher, I've loved.
Yes.
Like, it's such a gift to have great teachers out there. So thank you, teachers.
I mean,
we really do want to celebrate you because the work you do, it's incredible.
Yeah, they're spending so much time with this next generation.
I know.
Equipping them, especially the ones teaching our personal finance curriculum out there.
Oh, yes.
I get messages every day from teachers and students who are just like, hey, we watched the curriculum, we love it. And I'm like, there's hope.
Do you get snarky little high school students?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll get them sometimes.
The trolls are out there, too.
The high school students, they're like, we hate
I got one the other day.
I'm like, you just soak it in, little sponge.
They said, hey, my class thinks you're really short. I was like, good. That's what you got. Out of all of the life-changing wisdom I was giving you, you were just thinking, that guy looks pretty short. So
I've been asked to prom multiple times.
Oh, wow. Did you say yes to any?
No, no. I guess I could.
Okay. Hey, folks out there, don't ask Rachel Cruz to prom. She's not going. Okay? Winston will not allow that.
No, he would. He would say, Rachel, that's so sweet.
It's for the kids, Rachel.
It's for the kids. No, it's funny.
No one's asking
all
me to
you
prom.
high school students, you listening, you're smart ones.
I didn't even go to my own prom. I'm not going to your kid's prom. No.
You didn't do prom.
I had no interest in prom.
You're the one that could have asked.
Thank you. I am the boy.
Like the girls, we're at the mercy of if you're asked, unless you go with like a group of friends.
Rachel.
But
I was like skateboard punk guy. Like dances are lame, sports is lame, skateboarding is life. You know, so that's how it was. But that's for another day.
Do you regret it?
No regrets.
Okay, that's fair.
No, proms still make me uncomfortable and sweaty.
Actually, it kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. Just the amount of Axe body spray and BO in those rooms. Yikes. All right, moving on. Bill is in Atlanta, and Bill needs some help. Bill, we are happy to help you today. What's going on?
Hey, y'all. I appreciate you taking my call today. I'm a big fan of you guys.
Absolutely. What's going on?
I just had a question. If my wife and I bought too much house,
okay.
Our take-home pay per month, depending on whether we hit our bonuses or not, is $9,900 to $10,400 a month.
Okay. Hey, speak directly into your phone for you. It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
Oh no, Bill.
You still with us, Bill? Did we lose you on the wind?
Can you hear me?
Okay, that's all right. Okay, so you got $9,900 to $10,400 coming in take-home pay. How much is this mortgage?
All right,
We're losing you, Bill.
Shoot, Bill.
Wish we could help, but I'll give you. Oh, there we go. He's back.
Hi, are you there?
There we go.
There
That's
you are,
better.
Bill. We hear you.
Sorry.
Okay, what's the mortgage payment?
My mortgage payment's $2,100 a month. It's under contract to move in 2 months, and then the property taxes are $1,000. So if you count that, I think it comes out to about 35% of my take-home pay on a 15-year fixed.
Okay, and you're on the 15-year fixed?
Yeah, and the house is worth. We have 130 cash, and we were gonna save 20 for the emergency fund, and then do 10 for the for the closing costs. So we were gonna put the remainder on the home.
Okay, so you haven't closed on the house yet.
No, it's just under contract.
Do you see you or your wife having any raises or bonuses going up? Like, do you see your income overall going up anytime soon?
I do. It's been going up about 10% a year the last 3 years.
Okay.
I'm not sensing like a fire here. I don't think this is a hey, back out of this thing right now, man. But I love that you're doing the math, going, hey, are we going to have margin in our life to do other things, to pay it off early, to retire with dignity? So you're asking the right questions. But 30% is not outrageous on a 15-year.
Yeah, I mean, because it'll get close to that. So that 25-30% range is kind of where we aim for. And I think with you guys, the way you're making it sound with your bonuses and everything, that it's gonna stay around that or even go lower. So I think you're okay, Bill. I really do. I mean, if we were talking 40, 45, 50%, it's a different story. But where you guys are at, and you said 35%. Yeah, I mean, I think it's we recommend 25 to 30%, but since your income is going up pretty drastic, that 10% raise with both of you guys, I think that your income is going to be able to offset that in the near future.
Yeah, you've got a great income going for you. Now, if the numbers were very different, even if the same percentage, but you make a quarter of that or half of that, I start to get worried because there's really little margin there. But you still have, $7,000 sitting out there to accomplish your goals, to invest, to save for college, all those things. So appreciate the question. Get that income up as soon as possible, and you'll be in okay shape. All right, we're moving on to Jordan, who's in D.C. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Hi, George and Rachel. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure.
So my question, I'm a fourth-year medical student graduating in May, and my wife and I are moving out to San Francisco in July. And so I'm graduating medical school with $188,000 of student debt. But we've managed to share a car, no car payment. We paid off our credit cards, all of my wife's student loans. So we're gazelle intense. We're living on rice and beans, household income of a little more than $60,000. And we're probably going to increase to a little over $100,000 in July. But looking at the prices, we've had to pause our baby steps to just save up for moving expenses and for a second car. And the area I've heard from people is really hard to pay off loans for for residents. So my question for you is, would you recommend in a situation like this, where I'm moving to arguably, one of the most expensive cities in the country, whether or not I should refinance my student loans to get a lower interest rate to kind of make some more traction, or should I, just focus on just trying to keep my head above water in San Francisco and then waiting until my income significantly increases once I'm attending to then knock out the loans?
When will that happen? When will you be?
So my residency program's 4 years, so it'll be around 2026. But again, we're trying to make as much traction as we can to knock as much as we can out before that. But again, it's just a really expensive part of the country. So just curious about what your thoughts are about refinancing to make sure that more of whatever we are able to pay is actually going straight towards principal. Just because right now I have student loans through the government, and they range anywhere from 5 to 7.6%, and they're insured by the government. So if something were to happen to me, it would be forgiven and it wouldn't be my wife. Whereas if we refinance, it'd be a lower interest rate, but then I have to be worried about if something did happen to me, would my wife be stuck with that, with that balance as well? And there's no chance for that to be forgiven in any way, or relinquished rather.
Well, I'll talk you through my parameters of when it makes sense to refinance on your student loans. Number one, it's got to be completely free to make the change, so no fees.
Okay.
I want you to keep a fixed rate or replace a variable rate. Sounds like they're all fixed rate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
And I don't want you to sign up for a longer repayment period. because that's how they get you sometimes. They go, hey, you're on a 4-year plan. We're going to put you on the 10-year plan. And, of course, I want the new interest rate to be lower than the current one. And so the place that we recommend, the folks that we recommend is Splash Financial. You can jump on RamseySolutions.com and click on Trusted Pros. And I would get in touch with them and see what they can offer you when it comes to refinancing. Like you said, it doesn't sound like you're looking for the shortcut here. You're just looking to make a little bit more traction. And that is the spirit when it comes to refinancing. It's not a shortcut. You're just moving the debt around. But if we can lower the interest rate a little bit, shave off a little bit of money here, and pay off that debt faster, I'm here for it.
And the awesome thing is, Jordan, if you guys, because you guys, you sound incredible. You're like, we have one car, we've paid off our debt, my wife's student loans. Like, yes, and so, even making this $100K a year, finding what you can to throw at this 188, because by the time you get out of residency and all of that, and you're making significantly more, how amazing would it be just to have all of that money jumpstart your investing and all of it? I mean, so the sacrifice you can make now, you're going to be able to actually enjoy your income once it starts going up later on down the road.
That's huge. These student loans are a plague on society. We've got to do something about it, and it starts with you. Getting rid of them, avoiding them, that is how we attack this problem. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by Rachel Cruz, and we are taking your calls about life and money. The number to call is 888-825-5225. Jason joins us up next. He's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Jason, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Yeah, so my question would be, is now a good time to buy, or would I continue to rent? I currently make $87,000 a year. I'm 21. I have no debt. I have a daughter and a fiance, and we're really excited to take this new step.
Wow. What are you doing for work?
So I just got my degree in robotics. I work at a laboratory, so I'm going to be a senior mechanical technologist.
Good for you, man.
Nice,
just curious, did you get a 4-year degree? What was the education like?
No, actually, I got a 2-year in associates in applied science and robotics, and I've just been an engineering intern for a few years at a different laboratory in Los Alamos.
Thank you,
I was
Jason.
going to my bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
And making
now.
almost
Incredible.
$90,000 at 21.
My point was to say, good for you, Jason.
We're clapping for
and
you,
America
Jason.
listening, remember, Jason is 21. He makes $87,000, and he got a 2-year degree. So shut up. There we
He's
go.
probably very smart too, Jason. You've got to be. They probably wouldn't hire me for that job.
Robotics. That's amazing. Okay. Do you have any debt?
Like $3,000, but we have a little over $12K saved.
So you have $12,000 to your name. What's the $3,000 in debt?
So we just had a baby. We just traded in the car and got a new Jetta.
So it's a car loan? The $3,000?
Yeah, it's a car loan.
Okay. What's holding you back from just paying that thing off today?
Yeah, I mean, so I just got the new job offer. I start in the beginning of May. This has all kind of happened quick, so yeah, we did just get the car. I know the market's really bad to buy. I just am not sure if I want to walk in and buy a house and then it just depreciate over the next few years, or if we should just continue to rent for a little bit longer.
Well, you don't have any money to buy a house, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I guess in the future, would it be better to just do a 6 to 1 year lease and just rent and just try to save up as much as we can?
I mean, I'm a big fan of renting if it's buying you patience to get into that house the right way. If that's what you're saying.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
so
yeah,
the-
no, that's what I've been trying to tell my mom, but she was like, no, you need to
okay.
buy
Now
right
mom's involved.
Yeah.
She's making financial
So
decisions
the
on your
thing
behalf.
is everyone's like, you need to buy a house, you need to buy a house. You have a baby, Jason, you have a fiance, you need to buy a house. You got a great job now, you need to buy a house, buy a house, buy a house.
You can't rent with a baby, Rachel. It's
I know,
illegal
yeah.
in New Mexico.
Oh my gosh. So no, but the pressure to buy a home, it is so great. But listen, the market right now is insane. So if you do not have to buy a home right now and you don't have the cash flow and the means to be smart about it, no. I think renting is 1,000% okay. It is not just throwing your money away. You're buying time to
Right.
save up. So if I were you, paying off this car loan, this $3,000, and then I would take the rest of your 10 grand or $9 grand that you'll have left, and have it for an emergency fund. So you guys basically are, and if you need a little bit more to do that 3 to 6 months of expenses, then add to that and then start saving for a down payment. So we recommend anywhere from 10 to 20% to put down. So that can be y'all's next goal is to say, hey, over the next 3 years, 2 years, we're going to be saving for a down payment on a home. And then the beautiful thing is when you actually go to purchase it, maybe in 2 years, the market could have corrected itself a little bit. You're not buying at the top.
That would be nice. So, Jason, our parameters here, you can jump on to RamseySolutions.com and go to the mortgage calculator under the free tools and start playing around with that and start to see, okay, if I do a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, which is the only type that I'd ever recommend to you, and we want the payment to be no more than a quarter of our take-home pay, then we can go, okay, how much house can we get based on us putting 10 to 20% down? That helps you kind of get a ballpark for what house you're looking at versus letting Realtor.com or Zillow decide, or the bank, even worse, decide how much house you should get.
Okay, great. No, yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to answer my question.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the call.
The pressure from the mom. It's a real thing.
I knew there was a mom
Gosh,
involved.
moms are great.
They love
I
their
am
kids.
one, but man, they want the best, even if it's not always the best.
Even
moment.
if it means putting their kids in crippling debt to do it. Oh, boy. All right, let's move on to Morgan. She's in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Morgan, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's good to talk to y'all.
You too. What's going on?
I am leading my first FPU class right now. We
Awesome.
just
Thank
finished
you.
lesson 4. I'm super pumped about it, but my class is all wives. No husbands attending, participating, anything. So I was wondering if y'all had any advice, like how I can encourage them better and push them to keep going, because I'm not married myself, so I can only imagine how difficult it is to try to do something like this on your own.
Yeah. So were the husbands invited? I have to ask.
Yes, I mean, yeah, as far as I know.
Okay. I don't know. Did the husband see it like, oh, well, this is girls' night? No, thank you.
No, I don't think so. Now, some of them have told me that they have, well, several of them actually have told me they have their finances separate.
Oh,
so
boy.
I don't know if that's part, yeah, of course that's part of the problem, but I know another husband, per the wife, is just like, hey, leave me out of this, do whatever you want. So.
No, sounds like a gym. Man, well, it's a common thing. I mean, the idea of being on separate pages, doing your own thing.
And husbands feeling like, I think I'm good. I got this money stuff taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's so normal. So I appreciate you even asking the question, Morgan, and seeing it and being like, man, I wish it could be different. I mean, if they're just not willing to go, you can't make someone do anything. That took me lots of counseling sessions to really understand you can't control people.
The best way to support the wives is to encourage them to have the right conversation with the husbands.
That's right.
Going, hey, this matters to me. I don't feel financially safe. I want to grow in this area, and I want you to come along this journey with me. It's not, hey, you're going to go to this class because Dave said, and you stink with money. It can't be like that. It has to be a warmer invitation, but also very firm, saying this is something that I need you to be on board with because we are not in a great financial position. I want us to be better financially, and I want to do this together as a team. That's what marriage is. That's what you signed up for when you decided to say I do. And so that's the kind of conversation they need to have with their husbands. There's not a lot you can do personally to have that conversation for them.
Yeah, and
I think I did talk to them about, like, having a big why. And we just finished lesson 4, so they talked about the dream meeting, having the dream meeting about what the future looks like.
That's got to sting, watching that alone while your husband's at home.
Well, that's what I just don't want them to feel defeated or like they can't do it, even though I'm sure it's much harder. But yeah, I still want them to feel like they can do it.
Yeah, and I think, encouraging them, and it's so interesting that the whole class that like no husband is coming, right? So it really is all these wives, and so I think that's possibly a good thing because you guys can kind of brainstorm, I think, as a group even. And I think for 2, I think sometimes the conversation around money with couples and with women, they can almost make it seem like, oh, I really want you to come to this thing, but like, oh, I don't know. It feels just kind of like surfacey feeling. But if they really get under and be like, listen, I'm struggling because I'm feeling like if we're going to be separate on this, there's other areas of our marriage. I want our marriage to be the best, richest marriage possible and being on one team, or I feel lonely doing this by myself and I want my husband there. Like, start to put the weight of it, not nagging, but putting the weight of what they're feeling in it to their husbands. I think is for them to have a real serious conversation about it. And Dr. John Deloney always says it, and I think he's right, that if it gets to a point that they just will not, that's when you bring in a third party. Yeah. And you bring in someone because again, it's a red flag in other areas of marriage when there's not a level of, hey, I want to come in as one. No, opposites attract. So in any marriage, there's going to be one that's going to be way more excited than the other. And I know for us, what's funny is like my husband is actually the one that's more excited about this stuff than I even am, even though this is my job. But he's like, he has the Excel sheets. He knows all the number. I mean, he's like checking everything. It is like in his head, and I'm not as great at detail. So I'm like, okay, I'm having to go back in and relook at stuff. So naturally, there's gonna be one more excited than the other, and that's not right or wrong. But if they won't even come to the table and have a discussion and talk about it, that's where the red flag comes in. So, I think you, Morgan, encouraging them is awesome.
Get the wives to say, hey, we're going to watch this video at home together, first lesson, just to get them on board. That's a great idea. And then see if they'll come to a class. But man, men, step up. Dudes,
and it might be
step
intimidating. Be like, oh man, I'm going to be going with Sarah and Mary, all your friends, and me, so maybe the home thing. That's a great suggestion.
Just, let's wade in the waters a little bit.
I like that.
But overall, men need to step up. This is
job,
ridiculous.
Morgan.
Yes, thank you so much for leading the class. We appreciate all of our financial peace coordinators out there leading the charge on the home front. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back, America. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Rachel Cruz this hour, and we are taking your calls, 888-825-5225. Ava joins us up next. She's in Buffalo, New York. Ava, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So I've been offered an internship over the summer, and I'm conflicted about whether or not I should take it because it's by my college town, and my mom wants me to come back home because I won't have to pay any bills over the summer, and I also have a job for the summer lined up there, but it's not as related to what I want to go into as this one is. This one's kind of just more suited to my career, and I'm just not sure if I should heed my mom's advice or stay in my college town and take this internship this summer.
So what did you study?
I'm in biology.
Okay. And what's the internship?
So it's like a lab scientist intern. I'd be shadowing some people in a lab, learning techniques and learning how to become a better science communicator. And yeah.
And that excites you?
Yes.
But it's unpaid?
It is paid. It pays $18 an hour.
Okay. This is better. So you'll be able to pay your bills if you do this internship?
I found an apartment I'd be able to live in for only $300 a month, which, like, with the inflation and everything, and especially in this area, is a really good deal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
For sure.
Is it in a safe part of town? Is it legit?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's actually near the off-campus living apartments where I am now.
Okay. And the alternative is, what is this job back home that you have for the summer?
So it's also in a lab, but I'm doing, I don't know how to put it, I'm doing more menial work, if that makes sense. The job that I would be doing over the summer here would be much more, I would have to use my brain, I would have to think, I would have to know.
More
I have
hands-on.
to use what I'm, the job back at home is like, I'm kind of answering phones more, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like I don't feel like it would directly be benefiting my career.
Yeah, does it pay more, Ava? Does it pay more? I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
The one at home pays $15 an hour. But there's also another. So I have a family member who's pretty sick right now, living back at home. And that's another major reason I haven't just said yes yet. Like, she's pretty sick, and I haven't been able to see her. And I wouldn't get to see her because she's too sick to come to me. So to visit.
Where's college versus home? How far away?
6 hours.
Okay.
By car.
Could you go visit a few weekends over the summer back home?
Possibly. I would definitely want to. I would definitely try to work that out, or if I could even take, I don't know, a weekend or a longer weekend.
Yeah. So Ava, what's the big pull for your? I'm just curious from your mom's perspective, because you guys disagree on this. What's her main motivation for wanting you back home? Is it just to have you again? Is it because of the sick family member? Is it because
bills?
Yeah. What's her main motivation or reason why?
She's saying the rent. The rent. She's like, we can't. We're not going to be like supporting you. Over the summer because my parents are helping me pay for college, but I would be paying my rent by myself, which I could do that if I had this job. I calculated my expenses and everything. I would be able to do that and still make more money.
Yeah, I feel like you have that respectful conversation with mom and go, hey, Mom, I really appreciate it. Thank you for wanting me to come home and do all of this. But I've done the math here, and I can make this work very easily, and this internship is going to get me closer to what I want to be doing in my career. And here's the deal. I'm going to come visit at least twice this summer to come be with you guys and see this sick relative. And you do that in a respectful way, and then Mom doesn't really get a say in your life at this point. I mean, they're paying for college. And we need to be respectful of that.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, Ava, you're not doing anything. Okay, I'll say this. One way or the other, it's not going to be a life-shattering decision. If you did decide to go and do this, it's not your ideal. It's not really what you want. But if you did, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine if you take the internship, right? But you're a very smart young woman as you're talking through all your expenses. You've run the calculations. Like, you've done your work, your due diligence to create a pretty great argument in a sense of like, hey, here's what I want to do, and it makes sense. You're not off just like hanging out at the pool all summer and expecting them to pay your bills, right? Like there's no, you really are taking a lot of responsibility. So in a respectful way, I would do what George said and talk to her. But it's hard at your age too, because they do have this like,
there's a little bit of power there.
Yeah, because they're paying your bills. And so, or not paying your bills in this, but the tuition for college. But that's my other thing is, what I would argue back to her is that, like, you're not doing anything immoral or wrong.
Yeah.
And so there shouldn't, I pray that doesn't become part of the discussion of just, that they feel any like ungratefulness from you, because they pay your tuition and all of that. So I think it comes with a lot of humility, a lot of gratitude in it, and that this is what you want to do. So I think it's a good conflict to have as you're starting to be out on your own.
But if I'm your mom, I'm proud of you.
Should I be worried about the family member? Like, should that be part of my decision, would you say?
How close are you with them? Is it something that you would regret, Ava? Do you think that you'll look back in 5 years and say, man, I wish I spent my summer closer to them?
I don't know, because it's like a mental health disorder, but it has a pretty high mortality rate, and it just makes me I think about her all the time because it just literally eats away at people who have it, and it's just so bad. And I feel, and that's my main pull, because honestly, the rent works itself out. I could do the rent by myself, but I feel like if I leave this person and she were to not make it, I would be really, I would feel really bad that I didn't spend the last couple days with her.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, because this definitely adds to the decision. And just hearing you even now as you're processing it, I'm like, oh, wow, it is a heavy thing for you. It doesn't feel like an obligation, anything like that. And I think you genuinely want to be there for this family member. And so, that could be a thing. How old are you, Ava?
I'm 20.
You're 20, yeah.
I feel like at this point there's going to be more regret if you go to the college town, do the internship, and don't go home than if you just went home, do the internship. You can still have the career you want, get the experience you want later on.
What does the family member have? Can I ask?
She's anorexic, and she's getting worse.
Oh,
so sorry.
By the day, she's getting worse.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ava.
Oh.
Man, I'm so sorry.
She won't eat anything. She doesn't let my parents look at what she eats. She doesn't. It's horrible, and it's getting worse every single day.
Oh, and this is direct family?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's heartbreaking.
I wonder if that's part of Mom's, advice, is she wants you to be home and she needs the support on top of wanting to help you with the bills.
And she's using me coming home as a reason not to go to treatment.
Oh, well...
She's using a reason for you not to go home as not to go to treatment, but if you came home, she would go to treatment?
No, she's saying that she doesn't want to go to treatment because she thinks I'm going to come home, so she doesn't want to be in the center over the summer while I'm home.
Oh.
And that's her thing that she's saying. But if I don't, I feel like it'd be even worse if I wasn't there, because I feel like she'd make the excuse either way not to go.
Yeah. I think it's something like this. It's not up to you, Ava. Okay, I don't want you to have this heroic mindset that you're going to be able to change.
Yeah,
you could be there for support, but it does sound like being close. If that's something that you feel like you'll regret years down the road, I'm telling you, for 3 months, you may want to consider that, going home just to be there. But I'm so sorry, Ava.
So sorry. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Ramsey personality George Camel, joined today by Rachel Cruz, and we are excited to take your calls about your life and your money. So give us a call, 888-825-5225. Sarah's kicking off this hour. She's in Los Angeles. Sarah, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. How can we help?
So my husband and I, we currently own our house. If we sold it, it would be right around $580,000 to $600,000. We owe $238,000 on it. We don't plan on staying in California. We would like to run out of here as fast as we can, but that's not going to be for about another year. So we're thinking of selling our house, moving the family into a fifth wheel because the market's so high and we still have so much equity here. we can place the trailer at my in-laws' house. They have a couple of acres, and we would just be paying utilities. We plan on selling our house in about a year anyways, so ultimately we're just worried that if the market drops, we'll lose everything that God has blessed us with. Would it be better to sell high or keep it as an asset?
Well, what's the issue with keeping the house right now?
It's not an issue. I mean, we're more than fine to stay here. We purchased the house really low.
But just fearful that it's going to go down.
Do you want to get out of California, or is it we love this house, we just want to move to the trailer? Like, what's the heart behind it?
No, we want to get out of California. Like I said, we would run there if we could. But as of right now, I'm finishing school, so I should be done.
So you have to stick around.
So Sarah, why don't y'all move to an apartment for a year? If you really are that fearful with it going down, the market, correcting itself, like going down or whatever, and then you lose all this equity because you're for sure going to leave. For sure I'm leaving in 12 months to go somewhere else. Why like the mobile home situation? Why not just go rent an apartment for a year?
It feels like a lot of sacrifice when you don't really need to be.
So that's kind of why we're on the edge about it. So we do have 2 kids, both under the age of 10, and we have 2 dogs. So everyone, all my heartbeats are going with us. So to find an apartment, that would be a lot. And we ultimately, like before we wanted to move, we wanted to buy a trailer. We were saving up for a toy hauler trailer because we go camping and we do all that stuff. So I was thinking, well, if we just do it now, we can live in there for about 6 to 8 months until we're ready to move. And let's say we find land in Tennessee that we want, well, you can at least stay in the trailer while the house is being built, or we go to Arizona, because either way, we're going to places where my husband can transfer for work.
Sure.
So that's
Sarah,
our ultimate.
We always say we do not make financial decisions when we're fearful or when we're drunk, because never turns out good either way. So it's a very fear-based decision is what you're doing. None of this is hurting you guys financially. I don't think, now the conspiracy theorist in me could go a lot of different ways, but if I'm level-headed right now.
Can we mute her, James?
There's no indication that it's absolutely going to crash. Is the market going to correct itself eventually? But you're in LA. It hasn't corrected itself since the 40s.
I don't think you need to worry about losing a bunch of money.
I really think you're
here.
fine. And Sarah, honestly, it kind of sounds miserable being with 2 kids and 2 dogs and a husband in a camper. Does that sound tough to you? It sounds awesome. You're a better woman than me.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not very campy.
You're not very outdoorsy.
But my mom said the same thing.
No,
you'd have to pay me to go on that reality show.
Sarah, if y'all, it's not a right or wrong. If you guys want to, because it sounds like an adventure and all of this, and you're going to move anyways, y'all can, but you're really making this decision completely out of fear with no indication of anything else. So I would stay put where you are. And then in a year, 6 months, 8 months, whatever you said, that you're done with school, you guys go find a place. You're going to be shocked when you sell this house. You're going to get $600,000 for it. You said it could even go up from now. Who knows? And then you're going to find much cheaper places.
In your trailer, which is a depreciating asset.
Come to Nashville. It's where everyone from California is coming. And some people are saying no. People are
there's no more room.
You're welcome. Everyone's like no.
Sarah, here's the other problem. You're buying a trailer at the top of the market too. So you're going to pay top dollar for that trailer that's going to depreciate in value the day you buy it, while letting go of an appreciating asset. And so that's one of the reasons of many I wouldn't do this right now. I'm not mad at you living in the fifth wheel and having a good time with the family, but right now you don't have to do that. I'd finish school, stay in the house, stay put. You're going to be okay. And when it's time to move out of California, you can do that. You're going to have plenty of equity. You're going to have paid down the house even further while it's still holding value or appreciating.
Okay.
Sarah, but if you want, I think it is great advice. But if you want to go to the camper, and that's where your heart is, and that's where you and your husband want to do it.
We deflated Sarah. All of her dreams of camping with the dogs and the kids.
Sad. You're so sad.
How about
right
this,
now,
Sarah? How about you take a long weekend or a week and go camping in a trailer with the family, without having to buy it all, and move your whole family and sell the house and all the stuff that goes along with that?
Yeah.
That's an idea. And then if you love it and you go, we could do this for the next year, just live in this camper and trail, then it's a different situation. But right now I feel like it feels like a rash decision, and we're making some justifications, and you're not in a terrible financial spot where I go, you got to get out of this house ASAP.
Yeah, we're definitely not. And the house is great. My husband and I make enough to cover it, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm on a run from California as fast as I can.
Well, can you run now? I mean, can you still do your school? Can you do it online?
No, so I found a work program. So they're actually paying me to work.
Okay.
And my hours are accumulating.
Yeah. Well, you're going to still be in a...
dental assistant.
Okay, you're still going to be in a camper in California, though, so your change of California doesn't really... You're
still in California at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks for the question. Appreciate that. Rachel, I'm real excited. We're just days away from the launch of Dr. John Deloney's book. We've been talking about it a lot on the show, but it's called Own Your Past, Change Your Future. And with that, we've got a really cool bonus right now. You get a month of free one-on-one weekly therapy when you pre-order a copy. That's incredible. You're never too old, you're never too young to improve your health and make your relationships stronger. And this is going to give you the tools you need to change your future. Along with the book, you're going to get the ebook, the audiobook read by John himself, and of course that free month of one-on-one weekly therapy from our friends at BetterHelp. So check that out. This book's going to make you laugh, it's going to make you cry, it will challenge you, and when you take the steps that Dr. Deloney outlines and take advantage of this free therapy, you will be transformed. Rachel, I know you're a big fan of people seeking counseling and seeking therapy.
I know, I do. I love it.
It's huge.
And John does such a great job bringing such a human aspect to this, because it kind of can be for some people like heavy. A weird topic, a heavy topic. They're like, oh. But there's just growth, right? You're learning how to handle your money better. Hopefully you're learning about your marriage, if you're married, and parent, like all these aspects of our life, including yourself. What makes you tick? Why are you doing what you're doing? And learning that is so great. And he outlines it beautifully. So
that's huge. Yeah,
John does a great
20
job.
years of experience and his PhDs, and he packs it into a conversational book to help us all grow personally. Go check it out. It's just $20. RamseySolutions.com. You get all those bonuses, all those goodies, if you do it before the book launches. And we're about a week away. That's crazy. Okay, go check it out. RamseySolutions.com.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Rachel Cruz. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. Mark joins us next all the way from Anchorage, Alaska. Mark, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. What's going on with you?
So, just a quick snapshot. In February of 2020, I had $283,000 of student loan debt.
Wow.
I was engaged, and so me and my wife went to Financial Peace University then, and since then, so now we're down to $49,000.
Wow. Amazing.
So you paid down almost $240,000?
Yeah, since then. So we've been going pretty serious.
That's incredible.
Yeah, in a short amount of time. Good for you.
Yeah, and so I guess my question is, I'm down to 49. My work pays $20,000 a year, and they've done that the last 2 years that I've been doing this. So $40,000 was from them. So my question is, should I get down to the last 40 and just let my work finish it off, or just keep going?
What are the stipulations of this payoff? Is it as long as you're employed here, we'll pay off $20,000 for the year?
It's a 1-year contract agreement, yeah. So I just say I'll work here for 1 more year, and then they give me $20,000.
And when did you sign that? When was like the last one?
Well, so the last one I just signed, so the next 20 will be coming really soon.
Okay, so this is April, so you'll probably be with them. Obviously, you have to be with them through next April for them to pay it.
Well, they give it to me up front, and then if I left early, I would have to pay them back.
Oh, okay.
Is there interest with the payback? Or is it just due in full?
Well, they give me a little bit more than 24, and they give me like 24, and it gets taxed. So if I pay them back, I have to pay back like 24.
Gotcha.
Got it. I mean, it doesn't sound like a terrible plan. You're not stuck in a 5-10-year contract.
But I wouldn't slow down.
No, just 1 year to 1 year.
Yeah, and I would not, because, I mean, you guys have been killing it. So I'm like, I wouldn't slow down paying it off to wait for next year. So if so you had 49 left, and if they're going to pay another 20, you have 29. I mean,
and you're saying you want to get it down to 40, and then they'll just pay it off for the 2 years.
Right, exactly. And then we could start, build our emergency fund and then start saving for a house because we're in an apartment now.
It's an interesting predicament. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad deal. Sometimes these student loan repayment programs through employers are a little scary with all the stipulations and the red tape and the strings attached. This one doesn't sound like there's a lot there.
It doesn't, but I just know how much progress y'all make, Mark. Like, I'm like, man, if you just continued down this road, you wouldn't
be done with it this year,
quote unquote, handcuffed to a job for 2 years. You are for one, technically, I guess, with this $20,000, but you could knock off the rest.
What's your income? Household?
Sorry, it's 160.
Okay. I mean, this thing could be gone this year, and I think it's a cool benefit from the employer, and it feels like, well, there's so much I'm missing out on free $20,000. But I also see debt freedom months from now, and you have the emergency fund, and you're investing, and I think there's a net gain on that side too that needs to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
How quickly could you pay this thing off if it was just on you?
Well, because I already signed this other 20, so with that, and we were planning on being done August at the latest, July if we really got after it.
That's amazing.
I mean, I would, because you could have your emergency fund. I mean, you guys could be through baby step 3 on 3B by the time this next contract would be up, you know? So
what's your future goals financially?
Well, I mean, we want to have as big down payment for a house as we can, so we want to do that, and then later, I mean, we just want to live in.
And you want to stay in Anchorage? You want to stay with this employer and this job?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I have no problem here, and we like it here. So
yeah. Well, I'd strongly consider getting. Let them do this 20. But beyond that, just get rid of it in the next few months, get the emergency fund, start working on the down payment. I just feel like your goals are too important for the remaining $20,000 to be paid when you make 160.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take.
Okay.
I'm taking what I can get right now, but I'm also attacking it with a vengeance and moving on with my life.
Right.
Y'all are doing great, though, Mark.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
That's
awesome
pretty
job.
incredible.
Yep, absolutely amazing.
Thanks for the call. We're moving on over to Louisville, Kentucky. Megan joins us there. Megan, how are you?
Hey, good. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Well, my husband and I are debt-free, except for our house. And we've been working. Actually, we've been a little bit disagreeing. I've wanted to throw everything at the house. And we do want to buy land and build a house, preferably as soon as possible. But he wants us to kind of throw everything at building up money to do that. He just came my direction and said, okay, we'll throw everything at the house. And now I'm second guessing myself and going, should we throw everything at making a fund to buy land and build a house? So what is the order when you're...
Are you going to sell the house to get the land?
I mean, eventually we would, yes. But my concern would be that all of our money would be in equity in the house. And as soon as we sell it, then all we have is land and no house. So,
well, if you can only afford the land and no house, then you're not ready to buy the land. You're trying to buy the land while still living in the house and then build this other house while you're still living in this house, correct?
So okay. Yes, and yes, you're right. What I'm asking is, so we would want to buy land when we have the money. We would want to build a house when we have the money. We can't do either of those
while you have your current house.
Well.
Yeah, you'll have to sell your house and rent somewhere.
Okay. I guess we were hoping to not rent somewhere. I didn't know if you just, because we would end up putting more into rent than what, even if we had all the equity in our house and we sold it for 100% equity and we were in an apartment, we would be paying so much more than what we have been on our mortgage.
Yeah, but it's not the monthly payments that's the concern. It's the amount of money that you take then to put and buy a land, have a down payment as you guys start the build process. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that chunk of money to be able to start that process. So
what's it going to cost for the land plus the build?
I don't know yet. We don't have a specific plot of land in mind because we've just gotten to the point where we could.
Gotcha.
So this could be a few years away.
It could be, yeah. That's why. So with this time, say we're looking at 3 years. I didn't know if I should put a portion, like have a separate fund where I'm not throwing every single thing at the house, but I want the house paid off. I mean, we've been doing this Dave Ramsey thing.
How close are you to having the house paid off?
If we were hardcore on paper, we have 20 years. But if we were hardcore, I think we could do it in 4 years.
Okay. So why not go at this house, and in 4 years you have a fully paid for house that's appreciated, and so it's a forced savings account on that front, and then you cash out with 100% equity, and you can buy the land, build, and like Rachel's saying, if you want to keep living in the house, you know, there are ways to do that with kind of rent-back programs and things like that from the new buyer, but it feels like this is a long process to buy land and build on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still kind of a dream, Megan. Like, if you guys had, like, hey, there's a specific neighborhood, a specific lot, and you had, like, or a plot of land that you know of that you're like, this is what we want, it's up for sale. Like, if there were actionable things, it could be, but it still kind of just feels like a dream, which is an awesome dream, and a dream that you guys 1,000% can do, and you could even do before it's a paid-for house. Like, but as of now, I would put it, yes, I would still put it towards my mortgage and be paying it off. Because also there's a chance that dream changes in 2 years, right? Like, who knows the world we're going to be living in 2 years.
And
it's
chance
like,
that savings fund turns into the I want the new car fund and I want to upgrade this fund, and you lose that money.
Yeah, I would just, continue what you guys are doing. You're doing a great job. And either way, you're going to come out on the other side okay, whether it's with equity or cash in a savings account.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with throwing it at the house. That's a nice forced savings plan. And with homes the way they are, it's just going to keep appreciating. So good luck with that whole process, Megan. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Rachel Cruz. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why they are the #1 online retailer of custom window covering. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every single month, you're going to save even more. Just use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Anthony in Ohio. I've recently reached a $50,000 savings goal for a down payment on a home that I plan to purchase next year. Before I pulled the trigger, I was considering giving my recent college grad son a gift of zero debt and wipe out his $30,000 in student loan debt. If I did this, I plan to replace the money. My plan to replace the money would be to borrow from my 401k savings plan, as a loan, not a withdrawal, and pay back over time. My 401k currently has about $500,000 in it. I'm 47, and I plan to work another 20 years. The only downside I see it would be taking money out of the market. Is that okay to do for my son? Anthony, your heart is great.
Sweet
Let's
guy.
Talk about that. Great heart.
Your
for
heart
your
is
son.
great. Your plan is terrible. That's how I feel. This is a terrible option. Do not do the 401k loan. You're right that you're taking money out of the market. You are robbing yourself. But your 401k is for retirement, people. Let me remind you. It's not for emergencies. It's not for getting rid of debt. It's not for going on vacation. And it's not to get your son out of debt. He's going to be okay. He signed up for $30,000 in student loan debt. What happens is you do this, and all of a sudden you're not set up for retirement. You don't hit your financial goals, and now you need your kids to help in your old age. And his son's going to be calling us going, my dad took out a 401k loan to pay off my student loan debt, but now he's broke, and I'm trying to help him. Those are the kinds of calls we get.
Or my dad had to leave his job, and now he owes all that debt back as a 401k loan.
Yes.
If you leave the job, it's owed at the next tax period. So he's going to be saying,
yeah, you have your goals, Anthony. You have $50,000 saved for the down payment, and you've got to stay on the course for that goal. So on top of robbing yourself with these 401k loans, here's what we found, Rachel, our state of personal finance research that our team did. 7 out of 10 people who borrowed from their 401k in the past year because of COVID said they regretted that decision. And on top of that, more than half of Americans, 56%, now feel that they're behind on retirement goals. So on top of robbing from your retirement, there's stress involved. And if you leave your job for any reason, you have until next year's tax filing to pay that back in full, the entire balance. And I don't like you being that dependent on your employer.
Yeah. So Anthony, I mean, if this is something you wanted to do, right, like the idea with parents in college, we always say if you are able to help your kids go through college, that is a blessing. That is a gift. It is not a requirement as a parent to do that. But that's a beautiful legacy to leave, right? So you, as the dad, was like, okay, I wasn't able, obviously, to help him. He went $30,000 in student loan debt. So if it's in your heart that you're like, man, I would love to help my son pay this debt off, then do it. I think that's great, but don't do it out of a 401k loan. And if you have the ability, because you probably make great money when you have $500,000 in your retirement, which is awesome. So if you do have margin and you do have the ability to say, hey, son, I would love to, gift you I'd love to help pay off $15,000 of your debt, whatever, right? Like with your own money outside of everything else.
With cash after you're at home.
As long as you're not enabling them, and that's a whole other discussion. But I think that's fine. That's a gift. That's a blessing to do that. But don't do it through a 401k loan.
There's too many people out there who feel like a 401k loan isn't really debt, Rachel. I'm just paying myself back. No biggie. It's not debt.
You pay taxes twice, right?
Yes, and that's a whole other piece. You're paying taxes twice a year. Here's how it works. The repayments are made with after-tax dollars. You following me? So the money that's going in has already been taxed, and then you're going to pay taxes on that money again when you make withdrawals in retirement. Now, I'm fine. Uncle Sam taxed me once. That already stings enough. Twice is just insult to injury. So don't do this. Save up, pay cash. The 401k loan is not your emergency fund. It's not your getting out of debt fund. It's to help you cover retirement. Thanks so much for the question, Anthony. Do the right thing. Brandon joins us up next. He is down the street here in Nashville, Tennessee. Brandon, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great. What's going on?
So basically I'm calling because I'm 24. I recently married last year of June. We have a 5-month-old kid.
Oh, congrats.
And thanks. And I am scared for myself. I know that I haven't been doing the best. I am trying, though, every single time. I just got out of the Army in January. I got a good job that it's so good that I plan on staying there for life in Portland, Tennessee. And I'm making about $6,500 a month. $2,300 of that is from the VA, tax-free. I'm in $64,000 in debt, and $52,000 of that is vehicles, which is a truck and a car, and $12,000 of that is credit cards. Every paycheck I get paid weekly, I put money in the savings, and I pay everything as much as I can. Aside from that, take care of the family. But I'm getting scared because I have a problem where I have a spending problem. My wife is great. She's more of the savings person. And I have this problem where if I see something, I'm afraid if I don't get it then, I'll never get it again, or I'll never have the opportunity. And about of the $6,500 a month, about $4,000 of that goes away to all that stuff. And I want to be, I'm
all right.
I'm struggling to where, I have money. I'm surviving, taking care of the family good, but obviously I'm not.
Dude, you are worth more than surviving, Brandon. And thank you so much for your service to this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the deal. You are a dad now. This is not 21-year-old Brandon having a good time, living his life. This is Brandon as a father, as a husband, and that means we have to make adult decisions, and that means these vehicles are probably gone this week. And it means we're not going to have the fanciest, newest toys. We're going to drive a beater car because we have to get our family to financial safety. And I can feel that fear in your voice. You told me you're scared. So are you willing to do something so that you can remove this fear and stress out of your life?
So here's the thing. Before I go to the vehicles, we're moving on April 21st, and that's where we had $9,000 in savings. You guys are probably going to be mad at me for this.
I'm not mad at you.
We had no furniture. Right now we're living in a place where it's life-threatening to where, I wouldn't say life-threatening, but it's very disgusting. We are very organized and everything, but my family is living with roaches. Thankfully, the kid can't crawl yet. And the renter guy, it's all under the table. He's nice. He's a good guy, but he's lazy. So we're moving immediately to a very nice place, very nice apartment complex. So that's where all the money went. I outright bought a very good bed, couch, everything that we need to survive and live comfortably. Back to the vehicles, I am willing to, but I'm also scared because, my dream vehicle is a Tacoma, and I have it. I got it brand new 2020.
You're living the nightmare, dude.
Brandon, you can get a Tacoma later. There's lots of Tacomas.
If this was such a dream, you wouldn't be calling us.
So Brandon, I hear such a sscarcity mindset with you. So here's what I want to reset. All of this, the decisions that we're going to be talking about in this phone call, it's for a short period of time, okay? I feel like the Ramsey Show, the brand, gets such a bad rap sometimes because everyone's like, you just want people driving crappy cars and not going on vacation. No, the slogan is you live like no one else, so later you get to live and give like no one else. These sacrifices, Brandon, is not for your entire life. If we told you to do it for your entire life, we'd be crazy. I wouldn't listen to us. This is for a short period of time. For a few years of your life, you're going to get your crap cleaned up. You're going to feel the best, the most peace you have ever felt as a man to be able to take care of your family with cash in the bank, living in a good spot, maybe not driving your dream car. All of that's going to be settled. Then you get to say, wow, Brandon, I really want a Tacoma. Guess what? You're going to have the money to go get a Tacoma, Brandon. It's going to happen. It's just not happening right now. And the problem is this instant gratification, and you're overcompensating, right? Like you're in a crappy spot right now where you're living. So we need to go get in a really nice spot with really nice furniture and all this. You got to find a middle ground, Brandon. So I want you guys to, sell the cars tomorrow. I want you to get $1,000 ASAP. And then I want you to start working on this credit card debt and pay it off. But with these cars gone, it's going to help the debt amount. And I want you guys saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. And with your job, everything that you guys are doing, in 24 months, Brandon, your life is going to look different. We're going to give you a free membership, a year membership to Ramsey Plus for you and your wife to work together on this plan.
Was she unclear? No, she was not. Thank you for that, Rachel. If you are driving your dream truck and you live with roaches, you are not living the dream. You're living a nightmare, dude. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from Luke 6, 27 and 28. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. pray for those who mistreat you. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope." Good stuff there. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Randall joins us next. He's in Waco, Texas. Randall, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, how are you?
Great. How can we help today?
So just kind of get started on a brief little thing. So I come from a family of addiction and not a very wealthy group of people, and somehow I was able to break free from that. And I was in law enforcement for most of my adult life. And then me and my wife decided that we were going to start a trucking company, and we did. She quit her job, and everybody's going to think we're a fool for some of the things that we've done, but she quit her job. We pulled her retirement and put it all into this business. So anyways, I drive a lot, and so I listen to you guys a lot just recently. And it wasn't until I started listening to you guys that I realized I didn't escape the addiction that my family has. My addiction is spending money. So that being said, I've reared back really hard. I have my $1,000 savings. I've got listed all my debts and things. I have our house is paid for. So my most important question, the reason why I'm calling in is because the business that we started, I had to buy a new truck, and the new truck is like $68,000, and we financed that. So the truck payment is about $1,400 a month. That being said, the insurance for the company that I started is also about $1,500 a month. So it just feels really heavy on that side of things because it makes my business bills about $4,500 a month, plus my home bill is about $2,200 a month. So just trying to figure out the right path to go through. Should I try to ditch this vehicle and get something else, but I just really need something reliable? I don't need to be breaking down, driving 1,500 miles in a week.
Sure. Well, Randall, I heard you say these words it always gets me a little riled up when you said I had to buy the $70,000 truck to start my business.
Right.
You didn't have to. You chose to, right?
Yes, sir.
And so the good news is we can choose to do some other things, choose to make some better decisions. And so, yes, I would be getting rid of this truck. Can you find one that's used that you could pay cash for if you sold it? How special is this truck?
It's not special. I mean, it's special because it does the job, but it's not. There's no sentimental value or anything like that. I mean, there's another truck that I have my eye on, and it's about $20,000.
I like that.
But it's I don't have cash to pay $20,000 either. That would have to be another financing situation. But it's financing $20,000 seems like.
So how much could you sell this truck for today?
How much is the car worth? The truck today worth? The one that you have?
Well, I haven't looked into that yet. Because
could you get more than 68 for it?
I don't think I could get more than 68, but I could hopefully get at or around that number.
Okay. Well, is that all of your debt?
More than 68. No, I have. Everything's broken down. So the truck is 68. Me and my wife together have about $92,000 in student loans, and there's about $10,000 in like credit card payments and such.
Okay. Well, the way I do this is using the debt snowball, where I list them out from smallest to largest regardless of the interest rate, and we start attacking this thing. And that means we need to get this business revenue up, or your wife needs to work a second job. I don't know what that looks like for you guys, but we've got to get this income up because your payments, you can't even breathe right now.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
How much do you guys make a year, Randall?
We haven't completed a full year, but my wife. So whenever we started this, like I said, my wife, we made the decision that she was going to stay home because I have 7 children. Also.
Wow.
But they range from 21 years old and all the way down to 1 year old. So anyways,
So
she stays at home with the baby.
Yeah.
And I'm on the road a lot. And I forgot what your question was.
Yeah. How much you make a year? How much is it?
Okay. Yes. So typically, I can bring home probably a minimum of about $10,000, maybe $15,000 a month. But that's not all profit. So a lot of that goes into fuel and insurance and other things that are like other vehicle maintenance needs.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't like this option, but you trading down $68,000 loan for a $20,000 loan feels a lot better to me to clear some of this debt and give you some breathing room.
Right. That's what I was kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I listen to you guys a lot. I bought the book and I've listened to it and probably one day. And so I'm really trying to follow everything. I don't want to abandon the business because I'm hoping that it will do better. But
it'll do better when you have more margin in your life, first of all, even if the revenue stayed exactly where it is today. But right now, you need every single paycheck coming in, or else you're screwed. So.
Yeah, and Randall, I would look at a couple of things because what you've just described, you guys have a full life, right? I mean, you got 7 kids. You're on the road working, and so this business that you guys have that is awesome. I mean, I would really take into consideration, okay, what am I actually, right? Because there's a lot of expenses here you listed out. So what is this? What am I actually bringing home for my family? What's my passion in this? Is it going to, are revenues projected to make more? Are we going to be growing this thing, right? Like I don't want, and I'm not saying it's a dead end business by any means, but I don't want you in something that you're going to be losing money, or it's not going to be growing and you're in this perpetual state of like, gosh, you're just gone all the time and you end up not enjoying it. So the job situation, the business, I really want you guys to look at and be serious at. Even though you made crazy life decisions, you know, she came home, you cashed out retirement, all of that to start it. Take the emotions out, and I really want you guys to evaluate that business together and make sure this is the lifestyle that you guys want as your family on just a values aspect. And then when it comes to the debt, yeah, I mean, if there's anything, now 7 kids, that's a full house. So, but if there's anything that she can do, even staying at home to bring in some extra money.
Or even that 21-year-old, if they can help support the family, if they're living there.
No, so she doesn't live there. She started her own family.
Yeah, and
she graduated nursing school. And she started getting her own life.
Yeah. So this is you guys, this is y'all's decision, you know, for what you guys have done, and I hear a resolve though in your voice, Randall, that I think is great. I mean, I think you really are at the ends of your rope, meaning like
you're willing to do whatever.
Yeah, what we've done has not worked, and so it is going to be this idea that it's a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint, and that's the hard thing is we are so used to seeing results so quickly. We want these things to resolve so quickly, and that's one reason why we do say the debt snowball, because you at least get these quick wins. So even this $10,000 credit card debt, like if it's multiple credit cards, list them out individually, right? Like
you got to feel some progress.
Yes, I want you guys to be doing that. So continue on what you know, selling the truck like George said, but keep chipping away. And if there's any way to raise the income, again, I don't want you to abandon a business that you guys started by any means. I don't want to give you that advice here on one call on a 4-minute radio call, but is there anything you can be doing to be making more? Is there a job, another industry? I don't know. Just anything to kind of clean up this mess for the short term, I think.
I mean, could you work for someone else right now and make more on your take-home pay after all of your expenses are gone?
That could be an option, is to seek working with somebody or for somebody else.
Yeah. I'd get creative, man. I'd get real creative at this point and see what are my options. And you know what, future? Maybe we start that business back up. But right now, we've got to clean up a big mess, and you've got a lot of people relying on this income.
And you guys can do it, Randall. Y'all can do this.
Yeah, you call us back if we can help in any other way. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to Rachel Cruz, my co-host, all the folks in the booth, Kelly, Ben, James, Zach, Andrew, I got them all. There they are. In America, thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.